All right, guys. When you talk to a woman, all right, I want you to pretend like you are an admirer of art and you're in an art museum and you're looking at a piece, okay? Now, the art museum has a lot of art in there, okay? It's not expected that just because you're looking at one piece of art that you want to buy that piece of art, or that's the only piece of art that you're looking at. No one expects that, okay? But I want you to act as if you are an artist admiring this art, okay? Or not necessarily an artist, but a consumer, or a what's it? A connoisseur of fine art, all right? And the reason why I'm saying this is because I want you to think about how you would act. You wouldn't describe the art and say, oh, this art is beautiful, right? You would talk about how that art makes you feel, right? And when you start talking about how things make you feel, that's when you start getting into the language of the feminine. Then you start communicating in the way that women communicate, in the way that they think, right? So your thought process is mostly analytical and logic centered, whereas a woman's thought process is going to be very much emotion based, right? And so that's why it's so important that you approach things in this way, because I think a lot of guys have said, oh John, if I compliment a girl, then she's going to think I'm a nice guy, and it's going to come across as creepy or potentially needy, just giving her that validation. True. If you're just doing it like that, okay. But if you think of it as you're a what can I say the word? Connoisseur of fine art, and she's this beautiful piece of art, right? Think about the awe and admiration that you have for this, the feelings that it inspires within you, but you're not thinking that you're coming home with that piece of art. You're appreciating the art for what it is, okay? And so maybe you communicate to her and you say, wow, just when I look into your eyes, I get lost in there. It's amazing. I've never felt such a deep connection as I do talking to you here. It's amazing. Or you talk about how just being in your presence, it makes me feel like I'm a boy again, and it just makes me feel these feelings that I haven't really felt before, or felt in a long time. You see what I'm saying? Is, again, some of these things you might sound cheesy. They might sound cheesy when I'm saying them, and you might sound, well, some girls are going to be like, what? Not if they're true expressions of how you're actually feeling in the moment. So you can't be afraid of those things. Now, a lot of guys, they get it wrong, and they're like, I've tried this before, John. This is how I was before, when I was a nice guy, and I would tell girls I liked them, and I was like, oh, you're so beautiful, I'm so in love with you, etc., etc. That's not what we're talking about here. It's not about just dumping all of these feelings that you have for her and how much you want her on her. That's not what it's about, okay? It's about admiring the art from the perspective of a connoisseur of the fine art, of appreciating these finer qualities, these things, and how they evoke an emotion in you. Okay, that's the way to do this. If you do it in this way, you're going to come across as romantic. She's gonna say, wow, well, why do you think women like poetry, right? And guys get this wrong. They're like, oh, I wrote a love letter, I wrote a poem for a girl. And it's like, no, it's not. It's not about talking about how much you're in love with her and all of these things. It's about expressing how she makes you feel, so that she can connect with that, because that's what a woman wants. She wants to create this feeling in you, because that's power. She has this emotional power, okay? And again, like I said, I know that this goes against a lot of what you've probably heard about dating and women and relationships, and how you would think that these things would backfire on you. and given that if you're not a strong man, if you don't have confidence, if you're saying this in order to impress her or to make her like you more, or to get some kind of validation from her, then those things are going to fall flat and they're not going to work, because they're just it's you trying to get something. Okay, but if they're sincerely coming from your heart and you're telling her these things, it will create that chemistry and that connection and that romance that women are looking for, right? You just have to make sure, like I said, that the reason why you're doing it is there, right? And if you do things that way, that's why I said to think of things in this frame. If you think of things in this frame, you're going to find it's going to be a lot easier for you to express these things and come across in the right way, as opposed to a desperate and needy way, right? And you'll see that women will respond to this. So women, this is what they're looking for. The other thing to think about is, if you're on a date with a girl, what makes it so that she's like, this is the best guy ever? Like, I hope this guy calls me back. I hope that this guy, she's dating a lot of guys, but she's like, I really hope that this guy wants to go on a second date with me, right? What makes it so that she says that about you after the date? It's going to be this. It's going to be this, creating this level of connection. It's going to be creating this kind of romantic experience where she thinks of you as this guy that is sweeping her off her feet, right? Again, it doesn't mean that you are trying to just be exclusive with her and that you're projecting this. The whole point of it is that you can be disconnected, non-attached while doing this, right? So I did a long time, a long time ago, I did a video on alpha males falling in love or something like that, and I was talking about how you could fall in love for one evening, and this is exactly the thing. It was the exact same thing that when I was teaching game and pickup that worked and was the right way to play it. It's the exact way to play it now, whatever your intent is, because creating that romantic experience for a woman is what's going to make her have that deep level of attraction for you. That's not just that surface level, and not just because you're compatible. Okay. Now, if you want some help with this stuff, check out the Bulldog Mindset membership down below. I've got a link there where you can join us. A ton of videos on everything from mindset to fitness to women to money, everything that you need to know to transform your life and become the man you want to become.